I'm Dr. Gina Simmons-Schneider, and I will be teaching the Psychopathology of Hate Groups at the Grossmont Center on March 28th, Thursday at 10 a.m. We will be talking about hate groups and how they develop and what developmental, social, and clinical factors might be involved, and we'll also explore effective ways to combat hate. Hope to see you there. Thank you.
Ferde Grofe is an essential American composer, and Friday, March 29th at 3 p.m. is dedicated to the diversity of his genius. Class 1380. He was an independent spirit from the beginning, leaving home at 14, working as a milkman. Before long, he moved beyond the random piano bar gigs to work for Paul Whiteman and George Gershwin, and beyond his essential work with Gershwin as the arranger, his creativity is also front and center in his evocative orchestral suites. His music celebrates America's finest landscapes. He is a very special composer indeed. I hope you can drop in. Thank you.
2,000 years ago, the early Christian church was the low man on the totem pole in the Roman Empire. There were other pagan faiths that had been around for hundreds of years and were much stronger. The Roman Emperor Nero had outlawed Christianity, while other emperors, now and again, fed Christians to the lions. Nevertheless, after a few hundred years, the Christian church rose up to become the dominant religion in Rome. This is a fascinating story, and I hope you would join me, Dr. Frank Newton, to learn about it on March 28th at 1 o'clock with Oasis class number 1285. That's Thursday, March 28th at 1 o'clock. Please join me then.
Goats are easy to tame and to feed, and they provide humans with milk, meat, fabrics, and skins. They are browsers rather than grazers, so they can live on brush and leaves in many marginal locations where other domesticated animals cannot thrive. They are important to humanity because poor humans living in marginal conditions can keep several goats cheaper than just one cow. Please join me, Henry George, at Oasis Grossmont at 10 a.m. on April 26 to learn more about this important friend of humans.
Hi, I'm Blaine Davies. Andrew Jackson, the hero of the Battle of New Orleans and co-founder of the Democratic Party, served as our nation's 7th president. He was our first populist president, and his supporters called him the People's President. He fought Indians, barely survived a duel, and as president stood firm against South Carolina's threats to secede. He was a slave owner and strongly supported the institution of slavery. He opposed the National Bank, defied the Supreme Court, and supported the Indian Removal Act. Please join me Monday, March 25th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, either in person at Oasis Grossmont Center or via Zoom, when we explore the life of one of the most fascinating and important presidents in American history.
Welcome to the world of animal behavior and ecology. My name is Fred Berkovich, and I've been studying wild animals for a little over 40 years. I'd invite you to come along with me for an imaginary safari to the African plains, where we're going to be studying giraffes. You can learn all about them at talk number 728 on Saturday, March 30th at 2:30 in the afternoon at the Mission Hills Knox Library. You'll learn about the social life of giraffes, including how they make friends, how they have close family ties, their babysitting routines, their leadership routines, how they find mates. And it's a bit more complicated than most people think. Sadly, though, you'll also learn why giraffes are threatened with extinction. But I do invite you to join me for an exciting adventure to learn about giraffe social life. I'll see you on Saturday, the 30th of March. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Professor Glenn Smith, a recently retired law professor and still a teacher of political science at UCSD. And my specialty is the Supreme Court. I'm really looking forward to having you join me for a course I call Behind the Law in the News. And as it explains, I look at what are the hot controversies and news about constitutional issues and controversies and other public law controversies involving the federal government. And then we take a deeper dive into what the law is behind this controversy than you usually get even in the best news stories. Hope you'll join me. We'll look at several issues that are hot and hopefully generate some real light about them.
Hello, my name is Bruce McGraw, and I'm a retired philosophy professor from Palomar College. And I'm going to teach a class at the Point Loma Library entitled The New Testament and the Gospel of Mark. Normally, when we study the New Testament Gospels, we study them as a whole. In other words, we assume the four Gospels agree and support each other. So when someone points out a deficiency in Mark, saying, for example, that it contains no virgin birth story, people will then say, well, that's covered in Matthew and Luke. But how aware were these Gospel writers of each other? And did Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John actually write the Gospels with their names on them? We'll explore this. After giving an overview of the New Testament Gospels, we will take a look at the unique message each Gospel writer presents, starting in this class with the Gospel of Mark, the earliest of the four Gospels. This class will take a historical look at the New Testament Gospels and apply a modern analytic approach to their contents. In future classes, I want to continue this theme, focusing on the unique message of the other three Gospels, the Gospels of Matthew, Luke, and John, and also explore the historical Jesus. We'll touch a bit on this in this class in the overview of the four Gospels. So join us at the Point Loma Library at 3701 Voltaire Street, 92107 on Wednesday, March 27th from 1 to 2:30 as we explore the New Testament and the Gospel of Mark to see what we can discover if we apply a modern perspective and analysis to them. Hope to see you there.
Hi, my name's Ricky Deutsch, and I'm going to be your instructor for Howard Hughes and the Spruce Goose. It's going to be March 26th. Well, what do you know about Howard Hughes? He was a very, very rich man. He was the richest man in the world, and he was the first billionaire in the world. Now, his life was kind of mixed up. He was an only child, and he was pretty well coddled by his mother to be germophobic. So in his later life, that hit him quite a bit about. But he inherited a lot of money from his father, and one of the things he always wanted to do was be a director of movies. So he did that. We're going to tell you about that. He also was a fantastic aviator. He learned to fly as a teenager, and he set many records later on in life. The world speed record, and he flew around the world faster than anybody else. Now, his big accomplishment was designing and flying the Spruce Goose aircraft. It was wanted by the government during World War II to take up to 700 troops or 2 large tanks. It was just amazing. Now, the war was over, but they still wanted to see it fly. He took it out of the hangar down in Southern California and had it disassembled. It was that big, and got it through the city down to Long Beach Harbor. Now, they thought he was only going to make 2 taxi runs, but he said, we're going. And he hit pedal to the metal, and they got up for about a mile and then 70 feet up. It was just an amazing thing. So I'm going to tell you all about his life, about his aviation career. And if you saw the movie, it's very active, The Aviator. So I'm going to be on with you March 26th at 1 o'clock California time, and I'd like you to sign up for class 1472. So with that, I hope to see you, and let's go for it, Howard.